Good afternoon, Robert. My name is Gravette Brown, and I'm CBS class of '05 and also a BBSA past president of that same year. So I've spent the last 12 years since graduating from Columbia in emerging market principal investing, primarily working in Africa, Nigeria, South Africa, the whole gamut. And I recently accepted a position in an operational role to run business and product development for the second wireless telecommunications provider in the Bahamas. And so I've spent been in this hybrid space where I've been a lot in the US and obviously around the world. There are not many of us in these roles and these positions. And I wondered, how do you see, especially when we talk about, developing technology and pushing technology outwards, what role do you see, for your business, for, I guess, the kind of larger diasporic community to kind of be involved in that sort of creation, development, and really being at the forefront of technology outside of the Americas? That's something that is relevant to you? You've talked about, just your LPs. You seem to have a fairly global international base. What do you see in terms of opportunities in Africa and the Caribbean and just developing that international network?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I think one of the biggest areas of opportunity, my brother's going to be pissed off at me for saying this because this is the business he's in now. If you now actually think about a couple of dynamics, there are large-scale and at-scale manufacturing capabilities for photovoltaics that are not in the U.S. that will likely serve economies that have high hydrocarbon electrical generation capacity today that they're going to need to wean themselves from. And, and I think I was just in the Bahamas a couple weeks ago, and, they're still burning diesel to generate electricity, which is the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
If you got 340 days of blue sky and you're burning diesel to generate electricity. Well, what's the right answer, right? And you look in parts of Africa where you got 280 days of blue sky and you're burning diesel, and so the reason they burn diesel because the oil companies went in and erected the facilities, and here's what it's going to do, and they controlled them. What actually needs to happen is, this gets back to the political leadership piece of it, is in those economies, you need to understand, why am I paying, 38% of my GDP in energy generation costs to people who don't live here, right? it's just basic, it's stupid. Okay, but it is those barriers to economic opportunity. So many of y'all folks, half of you who are, thinking about this, I'd be moving down there right now saying, hey, listen, let's generate our own electricity, right? It's smart, and that's what I'd go do. I'd make it photovoltaic, and I'd create the sort of power plants that are actually, economically beneficial to the owners of those plants, which should be people in this room who are owning those plants, as opposed to other people that are, making them buy diesel from, Exxon or Venezuela or wherever it is. That's what I see the opportunity is. And I will guarantee you right now that the Chinese see that, because their big problem is they got major manufacturing facilities at scale that outstrip anything here, and they got to find places to put them. They don't necessarily get 280 blue sky days because they got so much coal dust in the air, they're not generating electricity, So that's where I think the opportunity set's actually going to be.